name is Henry Shankman, and I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm doing this video on the recommendation of my physician to tell other people how to try and get by and cope with some really nasty stuff that happens in your life. We all have mechanisms that work, that we're born with. And one of the best ways to check this out and know how we display our emotions and how our emotions are working are look at babies. Now, when a baby doesn't want to really see what's going on, when they're in denial, sure enough, they think it's going to go away. But we know when we turn around and look, what has ever happened to you is still there. Then once we figure out it ain't going to change, then we get mad. And we also learn to ignore some of that angry behavior of a child, or otherwise they don't grow up to be a normal human being and able to put things in perspective. Because when they're totally angry, nothing makes any difference than trying to make that change happen and force it. And then we come to the third thing we do. We mourn, we grieve, we look for what we had, and we just can't find it because it's not there anymore. And some people never stop looking for what they lost. To adapt, you have to get to these three stages fairly quickly and take a look at them and not spend any time enjoying your time in that emotion. It generally causes you problems. You're never able to really adapt until you get to where you accept it. Okay, I've got a disease. Go through and tell you a little bit about my life, the kinds of things you have to cope with. I was born club-footed. They got me to where I could walk, to where I ran. I even ran track in high school. But I have had pain every day of my life because there were muscles that were atrophied that would never correct. At 20 years of age, I was gassed with chlorine while I was a waterfront director at a scout camp. It caused all kinds of problems in my sinuses, resulting in 5 surgeries and numerous infections, and one time when I even considered suicide. I had a marvelous relationship with my childhood sweetheart. We were married for 36 years, and I get a phone call from the San Diego City Police. Mr. Shankman, we hate to inform you, your wife was murdered. It took a while to get over. I got remarried, my second wife. What was the story? She's got cancer. And she died in 18 months. At the time she was diagnosed with cancer, I was diagnosed with a disease that I still have today, a long-term problem with the bone marrow, which started off where they were worried about me blowing up, and now they got to keep me going, and I'm a vampire with other people's blood. It was making the video about how I coped with this disease and what it is for other people who have it that my physician said, I am amazed at your attitude. My hematologist said, I'm amazed at your attitude. My friends have said, we're amazed at your attitude. Well, what is the attitude? It's coping. It's not letting what has happened impact me so greatly that I can't really go on with what's most important in my life, and that is I want a quality of life. I want to go out with a smile. I want to enjoy people. I want to enjoy good food. I want sex. And when I can get it, I'm very happy. So how did I get to this point? What do you do once you get to the point of adaptation? Well, the first thing you do is you do a complete inventory of your life. You sit down and you say, okay, Who am I? And here you need to take a look at people to say, what's hanging me up? What kind of personality do I have? What kind of friends have I made? What makes me happy? What makes me sad? What do I have to put up with and what don't I? Sometimes you need to go in and get professional help. After my wife was murdered, I went in and I had sessions where I was put under hypnosis for about 5 times, and it really helped getting through the emotional part of the grieving process. Take advantage of close personal friends. Have them tell you what they think about you and actually ask for honest to gosh, straight up criticism that is criticism in the term that is properly used, where it's referring to how that person sees you. See how you're seen in other people's eyes. Figure out your finances. And most importantly, while you're doing this life survey and making a list of what's important to you, then do a bucket list. Because when something this serious happens to you, you become very much aware of your mortality. And once you're aware of your mortality, you figure out, what do you want to accomplish before you die, and what kind of legacy do you want to leave? When you do your research, and when you go through and doing all this stuff, don't buy that old saw that you are a happy person who sees the glass half full, or you're a sad person who sees it half empty. You have to take everything you look at and say, I've got a 16-ounce glass that has 8 ounces of fluid in it. When you do that, and you make your plan, then what you do is set your goals and shoot for them, and you will be amazed how they happen and how little the emotional override will impact you negatively. I could die tomorrow, and I'd die a happy man. I've left my legacy. I've been surrounded wonderfully well with all kinds of people. I wish the same for you.